Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship here, round number 21 at the Nürburgring GP. I'm your host and commentator for today's set of races, SD_RRDZ, and today we are beginning the penultimate race weekend with round number 21 here of the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship. As you can see there, it looks like the room was being reset, so it looks like these guys will go back on out. We'll take you with the first guy on out, who's TGIS 78. So he's been having a good couple of races thus far, so he's been really on the jagged edge of how he could be able to win races. Right behind him is going to be the 13 of Duck Barrel. This is not qualifying, but yeah, so we're coming up to the close of the season where the championship is really going to matter. And also, we've also had an influx of entries as well, and one of them appears to be Gallo Glass 24 in the number 87 Mazda MX5. So he will be making his first official SLM start of the calendar year. And of course, we're looking to see if some of the veteran experience will take the checker flag victory here today, or a bit of a spoil. Some of the new and upcoming talent will probably spill the surprise and be able to come up on top. Then there is fourth, which is Ryra in the 270 Mazda MX5 Cup car, and qualifying is about to start. We'll go on our way to look down the cars as much as we can, but of course, there are just so many good-looking cars here today within the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup class. And so qualifying about to get out of the way, 10 minutes to set a flyer here. I wasn't paying attention to the fast laps, but as far as I'm concerned, it was taking about 2 minutes 30 seconds to get one lap in. So these guys really have at most about 3 laps to get a lap in. So this could matter a huge amount in terms of qualifying. Gary, hello, buddy. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you again, buddy. We do hope you enjoy the running of the Mazdas here today. And so qualifying, like I said, about to get started here. We'll take our eyes up front to Death Spawn in the 38. Of course, last week he nailed his first ever Pro-Am win in the GT3 series not that long ago in a very dominating fashion in his Toyota Supra, just pretty much just unrivaled, and even rivaling some of the pro guys in that Supra as well. And also could note that Ben L85 as well got pro podium third place as well. So the Toyota Supra very good around the interlagos circuit. But this is not Toyota Supras, nor is it GT3. It is Mazda Cup racing here, where all these cars are nearly identical to each other in pace, if not literally identical. So Death Spawn, like I said, going to lead the way for setting the benchmark for qualifying. Then it is Bar 27, who, excuse me, who is back from racing. He was absent a couple times a little bit, so good to see Bar back on track once again. Then behind him is going to be the 13 of Doug Barrow. Of course, he has the pace to be up at the top of the pack, but unfortunately just at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's just he wasn't able to get a race win, but he has podiums, but he does need a race win, if anything. There is Gallo Glass, like I said, in the 87, who's one of the new entries here today in the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship here. And then, of course, this man right here, James Head, is on an absolute charge. If I go to the championship standings right now, let's see if I can get him up right now as I speak. Yeah, James Head is only 9 points behind championship leader SLM Polymer, so it is going to be an absolutely hectic and dicey finale and battle in these last 4 races of the championship right here. Then behind him is not entirely out of championship contention, but with 294 points, he's going to have to absolutely win the next 4 races if he has any chance of being in the championship. I'm sorry, just on James Head. There is Elliott right there as I speak. So a lot of interesting bouts going on here, and everyone looks like they want the slipstream here, because that looks like it can very much help everyone out here. So there is TGIS 78. Looks like he is going to get the slipstream here, as a lot of these cars, look at how many of them are. They're all going to start this first set of flying laps. There is Majides. I don't know how to say that name correctly, but I'm going to say it as Majides. He's one of the new Mazdas as well, coming into this Mazda MX5 Cup Championship. He doesn't have the right decals, of course, but I think that can be resolved in time for in 2 weeks' time for the finale of the MX5 Cup Championship. There is Ryra in the 270. Of course, he was in a labeled as 27, but of course looks like the stewards got on him saying, hey, you need to change that to 270, so it looks like that has been resolved, and we're ready to go out here. Then we'll go on board with our championship leader, SLM Palmer, in the 24. He's been absolutely on fire for the majority of this season, amassing pretty much a same amount of wins for the most part. And let me see if I can get a win counter right about here. So Palmer has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Palmer has 6 wins, and James Head has 2, 4, 6, 7 wins. So James Head and Palmer having 6 wins, but James Head with 7 wins. You can tell he's been on an absolute tear in this midway to second half of the season, and he's going to absolutely be on it here today. Oh, there is Hair Razor in the number 69. And finally, there is Dirtude in the other Mazda. And all of these guys on their flying labs. Death Spawn coming up to start the final sector, Sector 4. There are 4 sectors here around the GP circuit of the Nürburgring. And of course, Death Spawn going to be the first one to lead the charge to these first set of flying laps. I can tell you what, it's going to be absolutely dicey. Barr and Doug Barrow are side by side, so you don't want to be doing that. I think Doug Barrow might have had an absolute run on the 27, so he's going to help the 27 get a bit of a tow. We'll go back up to Despawn here to see how things go about. You're in the chat saying it's good to see new drivers. Let's see how they do it. Yeah, I'm actually pretty curious to see if there's going to be veteran wins here again, or if someone could spell the surprise and be able to win. Death Spawns with a 238 to set the benchmark. Doug Barrow not that far behind, as well as Bard. They're both setting 238s as well. 239 from Galaglass. James Head pops to the times. TGIS to the top of the times. Elliott can only muster third, and Ryra is only going to get much as second. Majidi is going to get a 241. SLM Palmer right up in front of Ryra. And behind his teammate, Hair Razor goes to the top, so that's a good lap for Hair Razor. And so one more car in the hands of Dirtude, but it is only going to be up for much more than 10. But what a lap that was for Hair Razor in the 69, who unfortunately has not had the best of luck. His last podium came at the second Lago Maggiore event, and he's only had 2 podiums to his credit this season. So lately it's not been much. It's just been a string of 8 points continuously for this driver here. So let's see how he can go about it. 4.5 tenths quicker than TGIS. So he's really set the pace here today. And we'll go to TGIS, who is in second place right now. He's only 4 tenths behind the 69, but is only a tenth faster than his teammate SLM Palmer. And then Ryra as well in the 270 is just about 10 thousandths slower than Palmer, so he's had a good lap. But more importantly, crucially for James Head, who's, like I said, on a championship charge here, is just under 9 tenths slower than the guy up in front, which is Hair Razor. So, and then Elliott, like I said, down in 6th. That's Spawn, who set the first lap to set the benchmark. He's all the way down in P7 at the time being. Oh, and it looked like he got on the gravel trap just a little bit. So I think you can tell he's really pushing it in that 38. And it's going to be a matter of time to see if he improves or if it's going to be back to square one, because these guys will only have just this lap and one more. Oh, Doug Despawn's going to abandon this lap. He, I think, is going to try and let some of these guys on by. Yep, he's going to let these guys by. Yep, he's going to show the flashers. We'll turn our eyes back up to the front of the field where it is Doug Barrow, as he will lead the way for this final lap. Barr is actually going to finish up this session Doug Barrow goes to P6, so no improvement there. James Head with a 2:36, and he goes to the top by 0.6 of a second. Ryrod goes to P2, but the gap is still 0.5 of a second. Let's see if anyone improves. Palmer can only get as high as 5th. And so no improvements thus far, not even from Hairraiser, and he was well behind. Dirty can get up to P7, so he's done himself a solid. Where is James at the moment? And he's on a purple sector 1, 1.138 seconds quicker in sector 1, so he's looking at to probably spell the demise for SLM Palmer, because like I said, he's been on a real championship charge as of late, and wouldn't he love to take the championship lead here in this race. Palmer knows that James Head can overtake him in the championship at any given time, unless Palmer can get an upper edge on James Head. There is Ryra in second place. See what the sector times are looking like across the board. It's all purple sectors for James Head, so he's been on an absolute tear. TGIS now second fastest by 13,000 of a second in sector 2 over James Head. So TGIS, might he be the one to spill some trouble here going into this final lap of this qualifying section? He's actually 84,000 slower than Ryrod. So TGIS, the Dutchman, doing an absolutely sensational job here late in this race. Come to life here for the most part. And so now coming up to the finale, to the end of this qualifying session, Doug Barrow gonna lead them off to the finale. And so what will this second to final qualifying session prove for these drivers before they have to take it out on the racetrack for 2 30-minute races? And so Doug Barrow coming through the final corner, as well as James Head. Is there going to be any improvement for Doug Barrow? And it looks like there will be, but not by much. 0.5 gets him 5th. James Head improves his lap to go a second faster, or almost a second faster than Ryrod, so he's had a good lap. No improvement from TGIS. And so where is Ryrod? Ryrod couldn't even, he improved his time, but not his position. So he's taken out a sizable chunk of that fastest lap and has not been able to improve. Hairraiser, though, goes into P3, so a good lap for him. Durdu goes up into 7th place. And a mixed qualifying here with, I'm not surprised, but the new rookies of GDs at the back of the grid. So, we'll take you through this 12-car packed grid, and look at that. James Head on the pole position, Ryrod alongside, Hairraiser, TGIS behind the top 2. Doug Barrow gets a 5th place starting position, and championship winner SLM Palmer has to do quite a bit of work now to get up back on James Head's terms. Durdude and Elliott rounding out 7th and 8th, but when do the front lights come on? It's 4 red lights now. When do they go off? It is green right now, and so they are off and underway. So, Ryra, I don't think, ooh, there's a bit of a mixed grid, and Palmer, I don't think, really got much of a good start as well, so we'll keep an eye out for that. There's a mixed argy-bargy going down the grid. Oh, TGIS and Doug Barrow going out about it. TGIS going to knock off some of those cones. And so in terms of the starting position, it looks like Palmer has been displaced by Durdude for 6th place. They're alongside one another. And so Durdude, the German, who has just actually clinched the Pro-Am Championship as well in the GT3 class just last weekend as well. Oh, and it looks like, oh, he's had a big 10-slapper, so a bit of a slow traffic section here, right here for the most part. And these guys could be absolutely on it here today. James Head, however, still leading the way, but not by much. So he's got to be really on it here if he wants any chance of taking it to the championship fight for our SLM Palmer. Hairraiser and TGIS alongside each other for battling it out for 3rd place. And so, yeah, that's what I need right there. and just this train of cars. We'll go on board now with the number. Oh, I can't even change. Oh, poopy. And so Elliott now having to resist a charge from Durdude, who it looks like he might get a run, but of course instead might have to just sit back and wait. And so let me change this camera to variable so we can get a good look of the view from behind. Ryrot's still got a bit of work to do. He's going to hold on to P2 for now. He's going to hold on to that margin by a second or so, but it's 1.3 seconds to the good for James Head as he continues to lead the way. Hairraiser and Doug Barrow occupying third and fourth, so a good day so far for the Costa Mazdas on this first lap of the race. Go on board now with the number 13 as he looks to hopefully improve. So far, once again, he started in 5th, but he's improved to 4th place. And it looks like TGIS was bumped back a little bit because currently he's in 5th place. He's doing himself a solid at the moment. And right now, I think it's just really just a train of cars right now that are just like, it's just kind of like NASCAR. Oh, it looks like something has been going on. And is that bar 27? We'll take a quick look at that. And what's happened to bar 27 here? So, it looked like he kicked up the bollard. I'm not 100% sure. But we tried to dive on James Head, and I think it took a bit too much. Yeah, so nothing much there at the moment. Oh, as a matter of fact, he actually goes wide. Take a look at that again. And we'll go on board with him. Oh, maybe for a split second. And, oh, big tank slapper there for SLM Palmer. So we hold on to that. But at the moment, it's going to be Palmer, who's actually been displaced down to P9. So what has happened to SLM Palmer? He's at the near back of the grid. Good news. My apologies, ladies and gents. That was a lag spike on my behalf. Let me see if it does it again. Yeah. My apologies about that. So, Ryrot now on the resistance charge from Hairraiser. He's got to try and hold his grudge a little bit if he wants any hope of holding that for that second place position. Okay, while this is all that's happening, this is allowing James Head to just comfortably get away right here. And at this rate, he's looking at to take away the championship lead over from SLM Palmer. Back down to 4th, where there is a sizable battle going on for 4th to 7th, which is Doug Barrow, TGIS, Elliott, and Durdude. Can't go on board with him, which kind of sucks, but we'll go on board now with the 64 of Elliott F64. There's not much. There's not much between these 4 guys, I should say, because he's got Durdude right behind him. So Durdude, the German, who's had a successful time here in the SLM League, just clinching the GT3 championship not that long ago. He didn't even win the race. He just got second in his class, and that was enough on points to take the championship away from Pro-Am guys. So he's just going to comfortably go to the Nordschleife with nothing to fear about, other than just take a victory drive at the Nordschleife. So, and so James Head's still leading the way, not by much, but Ryrot has got an absolute train of cars behind, which is growing now to even 5 cars if he can hold it off. If not, Hairraiser, though, who is only 8 tenths behind, is really behind on these guys and just trying to really get back up if he can. Also interesting to note that James Head does have the fastest lap of the race, so James Head will have something to be happy about, and that of course is going to get another bonus point for his fastest lap of the day. Take a moment to go further back down the grid. Here's Death Spawns, who joined midway through the GT3 season, who first ran at the Nürburgring, which was a complete soaker. He didn't do particularly too well at that event, but of course, as you do more races, get accustomed to the regulations, you start to get a familiarity with things around here. And so things are going in the right direction for Death Spawns. SLM Polymer just still behind in 9th place. He's 9 seconds behind the championship winner, and he's actually defending the likes of bar 27. So this is not good news for SLM Polymer, who takes the championship fight with just 9 points ahead of James Head. And so we'll go back up to the front of the grid where Ryron still defending from Hairraiser, but it's TGIS. Or I should say Doug Barrow, who fends off from TGIS and Elliott looks to get one position off TGIS, and he does so. So that is a position change for the 5th and 6th place cars. Ryrot now starting to look back as these guys, just look at every single one of these guys except for James Head, who's got nothing to worry about. Ryrot moves over to the right, and everyone wants any bit of that slipstream that they can, because these cars are so reliant on that slipstream. That's what makes them so close and so daunting. Like, if you get away, and if you're faster than the guys behind, you can really pull away and not have to worry about much. Someone might have had an incident of some sort. Who was that? That's not Galaclass, but it is Majides, who's well down the order, 241, so he's not had some particularly fast laps here for the most part. But of course, it is his first time running, so of course he'll have to get accustomed to the series as well. There is Galaclass too, as he's new to the series as well, so a couple of first-time runners as well, but of course we'll see how they improve about coming in our next series as well, which I will do once again later in the broadcast. And it looks like Polymer has got by. Oh, that's Death Spawns! Oh, he's had an incident. And we'll take a look at what happened there. Was there any contact between the 38 and 27? We'll take a look right here for the most part. And, just sideways going in. He's actually had to counter steer that, and he's lost a position about that as a result. And he's lost a considerable amount of time to the guys up in front. As you can see right there, they were running really close to one another, but look at the deficit that now Death Spawn has to the guys up in front. So let's see if he's able to hold it on for the most part. Elliott now getting by the number 13 of Doug Barrow. So that's another position gain for the 64. Like I said, it is two quote-unquote unashamed charge. Actually, Hairraiser's lost out a bit of time to the number 270. Let's see what happened here. And was there any bit of contact? I think he's, took too much left-hand turn, and that's just really spaced him out to the 270. And once again, the slipstream, like I said, just everyone just dying for that slipstream once again. And so not much to play for there. So Hairraiser still holds on in 3rd place. He's had a bit of a tank slap there as well, so he's gone onto the bit of the AstroTurf. He's kept it together, but he's lost a bit of time to the guy up in front. Hairraiser and Doug Barrow having a bit of a scruff as well, so there's had a bit of a tight little moment between these two guys. I think Doug Barrow was just trying to keep his racing line, so I don't think not much was done there. And so just with tires squealing for their life right now. These cars running sport hard compounds, which means they're not racing tires, but of course they're tires meant for the road. So Elliott now getting a bit of a move from the car behind, and now he's going to start to focus on the car in front, which is the 69 of Hair Raiser. So Elliott now, like I said, he's been on a championship charge. He's not that far off the guys up front, but he's going to have at least a couple race wins if he wants any chance at a championship hunt as well. Let's take a look at the quick sector times and see who's going fastest. Elliott now putting on a purple middle sector. A lot of these guys improving in the second sector as well. So looks like the race starting to come up to life. Ryra and Hair Raiser, Elliott and Doug Barrow, they're all having, look at the amount of green and purple sector that these guys are having as well. So just absolutely on it here today for the most part. So these guys are starting to get a little bit closer to one another because of the fact that this slipstream, like I said, it pulls the cars together as much as they can. Excuse me. There's Doug Barrow once again still holding on for 5th place. Now he's got TGIS to worry about besides that. Let's see who moves over to the second. Oh, no one's going to actually move over. Ryra is going to still keep 2nd place with him still being in hot pursuit of James Head, who's now 3.2-ish seconds clear in the good. Hair Raiser and Elliott, of course, they've had their bouts before. I believe Elliott got a better run out of the first corner than Hair Raiser did. There's Elliott and Doug Barrow. Doug Barrow's not that far off, but Elliott, he's really trying to apply the pressure. If Hair Raiser can be up a bit slower than usual, he can really keep. Oh, Hair Raiser going extremely wide. So we'll take a look at that again from a roof perspective. He's had a bit of a tank stopper. He's going to take a bit more. He's on the throttle, and look at how much he's had to go wide to. Oh, he's had a sideways moment. And so, was that a bit of a squirrely moment between Elliott and Hair Raiser? We'll find out now, or was this Hair Raiser's own doing? Oh no, I think he's clipped the grass just slightly. Yep, and yep, bit too early on the throttle. I don't think Elliott had nowhere to go, so. And then actually, Elliott is going to be right up alongside Doug Barrow. Doug Barrow was actually able to get right back up into this as well. And Elliott now with the new fastest lap of the race, so he's had a really good sector time as well. And so Elliott, like I said, just on a championship hunt, he's trying to get up the order as much as he can, but he's got to actually get by the Mazda of Hair Raiser, Ryra, and also James Head, who's 6.1 seconds up the running order, and it's counting higher. So, and also interesting to note as well, we also have Durden and Palmer battling it out as well. And Palmer, he's been trying to get up the order as much as he can. He's going to get another position on 7th place, and he does so with ease. So Palmer now starting to get some light into his cockpit and is now trying to go up the order as much as he can. Was that the car that was sideways? I think it was. Oh, and he and Despons had an incident together, coming together, so we'll take a look at that again from Despons' point of view. So was there contact with each other? Oh, there was big contact, and I think Despons, yep, got on the gravel trap, so I think Barr was just waiting for Despon to get on by. Some good sportsmanship from the 27 to let your fellow competitor on by. James Head still leading the way with about 13.5 minutes to go And this man, like I said, purple sector once again in purple sector 1, so he is really on it here today. Ross still in hot pursuit, 2.7 seconds behind of the pack as well. It's Hairraiser Elliott still in a fight for third and the final spot on the podium. Also, if you're new here to the SLM Discord, SLM League, as well on the YouTube, we do after each race, we pull the top new drivers in and then we pull them in for an interview. So we get to hear from the drivers how their races have went, and we kind of get an insight for what the idea is going to be for next race, next time by as well. So, and also, ladies and gentlemen, oh, and that right there is I believe he disconnected from bar 27. So let's go down the running order, and I think he's just gone. Take a look at that again real quickly. Let's see from... Oh, very bad lag. Oh, very bad lag. Yeah, that was a very bad lag spike from Bard. I think it's just forced his... Oh, no. Okay, I thought I broke the replay function. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, a bad lag spike from bar 27, which forced him out. So unfortunate for him, because he was down in 10th and was just trying to get the order. But I think it was just the lag that just really took him out, ultimately speaking. So Elliott getting by the number 69 for third place. And Hairraiser, oh, he tried to dive on the inside. I think Elliott might have covered it off. And so we'll take a look back at that. A courageous dive attempt for Hairraiser. And let's see what happened here. Oh, he really backed out of that one. So a good effort for Hairraiser, but nothing doing there as of yet. So continues to hold on to fourth place for the time being, and so we'll have to see what Hairraiser has in store for once again. Tries to divide the 64 of Elliott. TGIS at 5th, who has had a really good day here thus far. Other than his teammate, which is quite a surprise, but of course he is trying to do the best that he can to get up the running order as high as he can. So go further down the grid at the moment, where we have SLM Palmer, who's still in 7th, and he's still actually fighting out with Durdu, which is quite a surprise. Oh, Durdu, I think, might have had a bit of a contact with the 24, so the 14 and 24 getting a bit close together. Oh, someone's gone around, and that is Doug Barrow. And I think he might be pulling it over to call it a day, I'm pretty sure. So has he had a spin? Oh, he's completely kept the throttle in there. And is that day done for him? I imagine it will be. And, yeah, he's retired. So he was doing particularly well. I'm actually quite surprised he's just retired from the race. So I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, like I said, he was just doing extremely well in this race, in my opinion. So it says here, that bar says, I'll be back next race. I'm having good battles with Despot and Palmer. So there's the message. Sorry, but all is blurred. Yeah, I don't blame him. So if he's kind of feeling headache, nauseousness, then yeah, it's not a good thing to be on the rig, unfortunately. So good decision by Doug Barrow to retire the car, and hopefully we get to see him on track for the finale of the MX5 Cup Championship. So I'm not sure where that was played now. Ryrot still, he set a personal fastest lap, not the fastest lap of the race, but he is trying to get back up into this lead fight, which is now from himself to Elliott is 5 seconds now, but Ryrot setting purple sectors thus far. Let's see now where everything stands. Ryrot's had a purple sector, so, but on this screen it says green sector, but he's had a purple sector thus far. And Hair Racer is back now. What is going on with the Costa Mazdas? So what's gone on here? Now that's not going to do me good. What has happened to the Costa Mazdas? So all of a sudden this 4-car battle between Elliott and TGIS, Doug Barrow and Hair Racer, has just scaled down to Elliott and TGIS. What has happened here? Good Lord me. So something has gone wrong between the Costa Mazdas. We're not 100% sure about that. We put a message out there saying what happened, just to be on the safe side. So Elliott and TGIS, like I said, still battling it out on track thus far. These guys providing a very, very tight, quote-unquote, rivalry, you could say, because they've had their moments in the past, and they're going to try and settle it out here once again. Palmer and Durdude still fighting it out once again, this time for 5th place. Guys still going at it thus far. Really not giving each other much breathing room for the most part. Oh, I thought I saw Elliott go a bit too deep, and I'm pretty sure I did, because he's really on the edge of how much that car can really turn. And I think thanks to the course layout, he was just able to hold it out. And so he's really going to be on the back bumper now. One more now with Elliott. Looking back at TGIS, and what can TGIS do to try and throw off the 64's game for the most part in this first race, which has come down to now just about 4.5-ish minutes speaking now. So 4.5 minutes to go, and I imagine with the lap times, these guys I think are going to get this lap, another lap, and one more. So 3 laps left, including this one. And so Elliott, oh, he's pushed a bit too deep, and I think that was a really deep corner cut. We'll take a look back at that. I think that was a very big corner cut right there. We'll take a quick look at it. And I think he said to heck with the track limit. So we're now at TGIS. And TGIS too, cutting the track. So, oh, these guys really on it here once again. They're just, oh, TGIS trying to go on the inside. Now this is where action is really going to start coming it out. I'm not so sure about the track limits there. So, saying just got kicked from the room. We're not 100% sure on that. Razor did. He just got disconnected, so that's kind of unfortunate for him. Yeah, not good from Team Cox and Doug Barrow confirming headache has taken himself out, so we do wish you well, Doug. Team Razor got DC'd, so unfortunately it's not going so well so far for the Costa Mazdas. Hoping Hair Razor is able to step back in, of course, for the second race of this penultimate race weekend. And so there it is right there, Hair Razor coming back on in, which is good to see him back in the race lobby. Let's turn our attention real quickly to James Head, who still leads the way, just pretty much just dominant performance thus far. He's been on his toes a little bit thus far in the hands of Ryra. He's gotten that gap back down now to 2.1 seconds. But James Head he hasn't really had to push much. He's just really going at a cruising pace now. And he's been able to hold out this race lead now, which actually might be coming down now. Because Ryra's been setting some pretty quick laps here thus far. He's on purple second time, and it is. So Ryra is really pulling that gap back on down now. So there's Elliott, who's still in third place. Elliott would wish it was second place. And there's TGIS, like I said, as well, who's still on the back bumper of this 64. And I think these guys just really on the jagged edge of what can they do, of course. So 1.7 seconds to good for the number 7 and the 270 in this first of the penultimate first race of 2 in this penultimate race weekend here in the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship here. These guys are on their final lap now as I speak, so Ryra has got about 2 seconds to the good, and I think he's kind of had a bit of a moment. So who's down at the back of the grid? Is that yeah, that is Majidi, so he's not had a good day, unfortunately. And so James Head will take a moment to go back to this battle right here, which is still unraveling at the moment. Elliott and TGIS, who had a better run. And up there, right on the edge of that wall is Elliott, so he's really trying to keep that number 78 behind as much as he can. He's actually purple sectored 1 for the most part, and he's had a good race thus far. Hair Razor confirming the message he got disconnected, so he will be back into the race as well as Barr, so we'll have at least 2 more entries. Unfortunately, that Doug Barrow will not be able to continue any further in this weekend. He was doing particularly well for the kind of conditions he was having to face, but we do hope that he will be back for next 2 weeks' time at the season finale, of course. And so now, while this battle is going on, we'll take you back up to James Head, where he's had a really comfortable day here thus far. Of course, a bit of pressure, but not by much from Ryra. He's actually purple sector this time by. Is this going to be a fastest lap? He's actually on. He has 2 green personal bests. So might he seal the deal and steal the fastest lap bonus point? So excuse me there. So James Head coming through the chicane one last time, and James Head is definitely going to be looking to take the championship lead here thus far, with Palmer going down as low as 5th, but coming through the start-finish line once again for the final time. It will be TGIS James Head who will win round number 21 of the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship, and it looks like Elliott and TGIS just scrapping it out. Look at this! Look at this! And TGIS, oh, he's actually had to give up the position, so let's take a look at what happened here. So is this a bit of a dive to the inside for the 78? Did he force him wide out? Oh, it looked like a very good move for the most part. And so that looked like a very good move. Oh, a dive by Elliott as well, so that was a good move. So I think that was all clean, said and done between TGIS and Paul and Elliott. But I think Elliott was able to just get that position back. But I think TGIS just really had on the outside. So I think TGIS, in my opinion, that was a clean move. So I think it was particularly okay. Elliott comes home for P3, and he will keep his fastest lap bonus point. But winning round number 21 will be James Head, who I'm fairly confident is going to take the championship lead of this race. The two losses, of course, is over. James Head, like I said, wins round number 21, and I'm fairly confident will win and take the championship lead. So go to our race results there. James Head once again victorious for the eighth time this season. So it has been absolutely immaculate what he's been doing, and we're just about to hear from him once again. So create the party, of course, and we'll invite our podium finishers as well. So taking a bit longer to get this up, of course. Elliott, James, and Ryra. So Ryra had a good finish thus far in P2. So we'll get to hear from him as well. So yeah, of course, yeah, it says Elliott here to not talk in the race while it's going on as well. But while we have our podium interviews, we will have our podium finishes coming in, and we'll start off with third place. Elliott, looked like you had a very dicey battle to the end with TGIS, and you were able to just hold on for P3. Tell us about that fantastic battle for third place.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys actually were able to see what happened, whether you picked up on it, but no, it was a really good scrap. We thought, me and Tice thought that we would just bump draft, try and catch the two guys up in front. It was working, but then we looked behind and saw that Palmer and that lot were catching, so I said, look, we're actually losing time. So it was kind of then just that tactic was switched off and we just were going for it. And then coming into the final chicane, he just cut it a bit too much. And then coming into the final corner, I was on the outside, left, eased off, switched to the inside, got it back down the inside. He had a good run around the outside, but fairly gave the position back after cutting that chicane. But that was a good scrap.
Yeah, and so it looked like from your end, it looked like TGIS backed off in the end. I'm pretty sure that was because of the fact that he cut a bit too much in that chicane, or what was the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, so that was exactly it. It was he realised that he took a bit too much on the chicane, and then just kind of let off, which I wasn't actually expecting, to be honest. Which is why I ran in as close as I could to the edge of the track. But yeah, no, fair play to him. Yeah, good scrap.
And I don't think Ryra was able to get into the party thus far, so we will move on to our race 1 winner, James Head. James Head, once again, you take your 8th win of the season. I'm fairly confident, my friend, you have just taken the championship lead. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, that race was probably one of the most boring races I think I've had in SLM so far. I liked the flag victory. Got a great start. Literally just took every lap like a qualifying lap, to be honest, and I think it paid off in the end. Raya was catching at some point, but I don't think he was ever going to catch me. We could have gone around another 30 minutes, and I still think nobody would have got close.
Yeah, and like I said, of course, a good day for you. Of course, like I said, a boring 8th win to take. But of course, like I said, I think it's really going to pay off this year, like I said, because I think, my friend, you have just taken the championship lead. How do you feel about that?
It is absolutely fantastic to check the championship lead. I've been building up a good run of form in the last couple of weeks, and I think it just pays really with Palmer having a bad race in the first race and getting caught up in lap 1 little battles and incidents and what have you. But what I was focusing on is just flooring it from the front, just trying to ensure everyone was stretched out. Everyone literally had no chance to catch up. Raya tried his best, but no, I've taken the championship lead. I'm happy, but there's still a lot to be done.
So there is one more race ahead of us before we do conclude the weekend here at the Nürburgring GP circuit. Of course, Palmer does start ahead of you in this second race, but you have to start from the back of the grid. What's your plan here to try and make sure you keep that championship lead from SLM Palmer, of course?
What I'm just focusing on in race 2 is trying to get up the field as much as possible. If I finish a place or two behind Palmer, it doesn't worry me that much because I'll still be in the championship lead going forward. And I think it's going to be a great race, the reverse grid. I think obviously we saw the great action in race 1, and there was a lot of action happening out on track. It's going to get even more dicier, I think, and I look forward to battling with everyone as I try and take my 9th win of the season. No guarantees on that, though.
Well, we'll take a gamble and see if you can take your 9th win of the season. But ladies and gentlemen, we hope you did enjoy today's showing of round number 21. We still have our 22nd round of the Straight Line Motorsports Mazda MX5 Cup Championship here just about to hop on. So I'll quickly hop off the stream and then get it up, boot it, and going. But if you did enjoy today's race, leave a like. Please leave a comment, and then if you're so thoroughly inclined to watch some more of these races, please do feel subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you did enjoy, I'm your host and commentator for today's races, SM_RDZ, and we'll see you guys shortly for round number 22.